Hey everybody on YouTube. If you're a weirdo like me and you like to have these weird Soviet synths, and you like to play them as well and put them into your studio, you might end up getting a EMI RITM-2 synth with a MIDI, kind of, what do you want to call this, a MIDI controller board to put into this thing. But after you get it all set up and find the real niche, wacky instructions to do so, you might find some problems with it. First thing is there's a MIDI and keyboard switch, which allows you to switch the control voltage output from the board or the keyboard and not have it combined, because that actually does mess up the pitch. You might find that these two modes don't stay in tune to each other. With the EMI RITM-2, you adjust the keyboard pitch, like the bass pitch and the width of the pitch, like from low C, high C as an example. You can set the frequency difference with these potentiometers. But then, if you go over here and you set this single potentiometer, never mind this one, I'll get into this in a minute, this is kind of a combined start point and frequency width. So as you change that pot, you kind of do this. It kind of moves the bass as well. So you can have this in tune to itself and the keyboard in tune to itself, but when you flip MIDI and keyboard, you have to adjust the bass pitch here all the time, which is a real problem. I would rather be in a position where I have keyboard control and I can play it lovingly, and then once I find a melody or something I like, I flip it to MIDI and sequence it. Then I can do some automation and stuff with my hands and record it from there, get crafty. So to fix that problem, I added a trim pot that takes this negative voltage from this connector. You can see how I have split this, put some heat shrink on it, and I put that to one side of the potentiometer. The other side of the potentiometer goes right into the control voltage output on this connector. Am I touching the right wire? It's this one. There we go. They're all red. I know, it should be different colors. But anyway, you can see this is on the other side of the potentiometer. The center part is what, or the wiper, the center connector, is what goes to the keyboard bit down here, ultimately into the switch and into the synth. So what I have done by adding this extra pot was add kind of like a bass tune, since in this weird circuit, negative voltages actually produce a higher pitch. Once I introduce a little more negative voltage with this potentiometer, I can actually increase the pitch slightly. This board is naturally flat, so if I flip it, assuming both the keyboard and this is in tune, if I flip it from keyboard to MIDI, it will go quite noticeably flatter. So with negative making it sharper, I introduce a little more negative current in it, or voltage, and it lets you choose that bass pitch. And since you have that other potentiometer, not only can you choose a bass, but you can choose a width as well. So that solves for that. The other thing that I added to this, you can kind of see it in there, it's a little signal diode, a 1N4148. Very basic off-the-shelf signal diode. The cool thing about this board is not only do you have gate and CV, but you have this auxiliary control, which you can wire to a lot of stuff on here if you want. Most common is the filter cutoff, and I think that's probably the best place for it. But there's a problem. Once again, if I wire the filter cutoff trace directly to the board, then the value of the board is going to influence the value that's actually on the synth. This includes not only this cutoff value, but the filter as well, like the envelope amount. So if I have the auxiliary value down a lot using the DAC that's on board and setting a value through MIDI, then it will actually pull down this voltage, and when I try to turn it back up, it'll go up, but it won't go up as much as if this wasn't pulling down the voltage. So what this diode does, coming off of here, going into the diode, coming out of the diode, and where it's supposed to go according to the manual if you end up getting one of these controllers, by putting it that way, then this board will only increase the filter value on here if it is greater than the filter value that's already here. It's not going to suck current back anymore and decrease that frequency cutoff. So if I were to play this guy like this, and put some guy up there, yeah, you can hear, let me give this thing a release. You can hear how it has a full filter sweep, and if I put the envelope here, you can hear the envelope working. It's supposed to sound like that, but you can hear that real snappy envelope. And same thing here. So let me switch this to MIDI, kind of kill this guy, and then play some MIDI to it and show you what I mean by that filter with the MIDI CC. Oh, I have this, sorry the glare, I have the flashlight on it. I have this set to MIDI controller 1, which is the value for that auxiliary output, which is connected to the filter, so I effectively have control of the filter here. So with the MIDI output, if I hit play, I get that envelope. Hear that clicking envelope sound? Yeah, it sounds normal. And if I go over here and increase the filter, it does exactly what you think it will. Or it should. Now what's it doing? Oh geez. No sustain. False alarm. Okay, no sustain. So anyway, here we go. Sounds the same. And if I set this to, well, kind of maybe 2/3 up, and I turn this up, yeah. Yeah, so that works. And actually, if you wanted to hear what it sounds like originally, let me put this guy on there, and I'll show you what it was before. Okay, I'm going to connect it to the diode. There. Whoops. Whoa, 240 volts. Okay, be more careful than that, please. Anyway, there it is. So you can hear that envelope is really struggling. That's what it would be like if you connected it directly. With the diode, huge difference. There's the envelope. Yeah. So there you have it. If you do end up installing one of these boards, there's that trim pot, there's that diode, there's a filter fix, there's a note fix, and everything's in tune, blah 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 blah. Thank you for watching this video. If you actually do follow these instructions and modify your adapter, definitely reach out. It'd be cool to hear from you. Alright, thanks for watching. Bye.